Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javanokelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me this beautiful morning for the daily African Proverbs. We are live here on YouTube and we are also live on Clubhouse. My name is Simon Javanokelo. I am the founder of One Vibe Africa and also the CEO of One Vibe Media. But here I am the host of the African Father in America podcast. This is my favorite way to get up every morning and to not only enjoy sharing with you these African proverbs, but also to learn together with you, because every day when we gather here, we learn something new, and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about learning something new every single day. And so if you are here with me on YouTube, I truly thank you. And I want to pin the link to this live stream on Clubhouse so that those who are joining me there later on can easily click the link and just join the live stream on YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. I am excited. It's Friday, and hopefully this weekend I will get a chance to go for a hike. I haven't gone hiking for a while. Let me know what you plan to do this weekend. I also plan to go to a couple of events here in Seattle. For example, tomorrow we will have the Walk the Block event here in Seattle, in the Central District, which I plan to go to. So let me know what your plans are this weekend. I just want to share what our proverb for the day is before we continue. The proverb today says that he who is scared of words has no heart for deeds. He who is scared of words has no heart for deeds. Yeah, this proverb is really beautiful. It resonates with me a lot. I am currently collaborating with a lot of people. I am partnering with people that I've not partnered with before to do different projects. So I am learning how not to be scared of words, because because a lot of the time, before you take any action, you must have digested some words that led you to act in a certain way. I'm going to share the 3 nuggets in a moment, but I just want you to know that this beautiful proverb speaks to how if you are afraid to speak up for what you believe in, then you are not likely to take any meaningful action. If you can't say something about what you believe in, then you are likely not to do anything about it. And also, this is true in all areas of life, from relationships to careers to social causes. If you're too afraid to speak your mind or stand up for yourself, then you'll never achieve anything great. You can't stand up for yourself, you can't stand up for others, and actually society trains us to be like that. We are trained to be silent. In a place like Kenya, where I originally come from, where I speak about Kenya a lot in my podcast, we find that historically, and now it seems like we are back to that past where you can vote, but your vote does not really determine who becomes your local or national leaders. I don't know how corrupt it is here in the US, but because the US is an older democracy, even if there is corruption, it's well hidden. You can't see it very well. But in Kenya, everything is in plain sight. You see so much that that goes on. But if you speak up, you get in trouble. You get in trouble online. You get in trouble physically. Your family is in danger if you speak up. I have a close friend and mentor of mine who is an active citizen. He's an activist that speaks up whenever he sees anything wrong. He's well known and he's won awards for being an activist and a journalist that stands up for the downtrodden in the community. I'm speaking about Boniface Mwangi. Rushi knows him a little bit, but you find that he's always facing the wrath of sometimes the people he's trying to help, sometimes the government, sometimes the police, but he's someone who is always outspoken, and he also backs his speaking with action. And we don't have many people like that. We have very many people who have easily sold their souls, and then once you sell your soul, you cannot speak up, because you are already compromised. So those are our beginning comments for today. And I want to welcome you all. If you're just joining us for the very first time for the Daily African Proverbs, this is a safe space for you to speak your mind and for you to contribute to the conversation. I want to share the three nuggets. These are the three takeaways that my team and myself prepared in order for us to share in the early part of our conversation, so that even if you have to go before the entire conversation ends, at least you have something in your pocket that you can equip yourself with. So the topic today really says that this proverb is speaking to how to overcome fear and to take meaningful action. That's what this proverb in general is speaking about. The proverb itself, it says, "He who is scared of words has no heart for deeds." This is a proverb from Seychelles in East Africa. It's an island off the coast of East Africa, not too far from Kenya. But these are now the three nuggets that we picked out. Number one, identify the fear that's keeping you from taking meaningful action. You might be afraid. You might not even know why you're not willing to speak up about things that you need to be speaking up, against, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's out in the street, whether it's online. Identify what is it that is making you afraid of doing something about what you're seeing. Number two, understand that fear is impacting your life. Whether you do something about what you see or not, your life is already being impacted. So what are you going to do about it? You're the one who has to do something. You can either stay silent and do nothing, it still impacts your life, or you can do something but it still impacts your life. So it's your choice. And then number three, create a plan to overcome that fear. Create a plan to overcome that fear. Yeah, for me, I feel that my plan to overcome the fear of not speaking up was to create this African Father in America podcast as a platform where every day, I wanted to do it 7 days a week, and I did it for a while. For 7 days a week, we were live here, but now it's 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm able to speak about different topics, but grounded on African proverbs and African wisdom, because I feel that that's the base, that's the foundation that I have to go back to. So with that, I want to welcome my brother Rushi and Latanja. I see that we also have Makuba joining us here after a while. I hope everything is okay with you. And I also see Henrietta Opoku is also here with us. Feel free to join us on the stage. I also want to urge each one of you, take a minute, ping in 3 to 5 people for the next, remaining time that we're here. Make sure you're also sharing the link to this room. Share it on Clubhouse and leave a comment with what it is that today's conversation brings to your heart. So, Brother Rushi, just say hello. Tell us where you are today, how you're feeling, and what today's proverb means to you. He who is scared of words has no heart for deeds.
Thank you. No worries, Simon. I am doing well today. It's Friday. It's a great day. I am in Charleston, South Carolina today. That's where my home is. That's where my roots are. This is a great proverb. This proverb makes me think of, first of all, I think of things happening as a domino effect, you know. Whenever you don't express yourself with words, you're really hurting yourself. I believe if you don't express yourself, you will actually end up depressing yourself. That's what depression is when I think of it. Depression is keeping things inside, not letting people know how you really feel. You know, that's not expressing yourself with your words is probably, to me, I think of it as one of the underlying problems we have in health. People who have heart issues, um, all kind of stress related issues. It comes from one of the issues. It comes from not expressing yourself. You know, it's at times it can be difficult to express yourself. But you have to have the courage within, and this is say your mind, and whatever your truth is, you let it be known, and even if it's not right, you have to be able to receive feedback. You know, that's so important. You know, I say things. I'm not to be honest with you, I'm not a person who expresses myself a lot. That's expression is something I'm just learning to really do. You know, one of the most one thing that really changed my tune or changed how I feel about expression is I remember last year. I'm a person who loves to go to cafes, coffee shops. I love to go to coffee shops and cafes. And I remember last year, one of the most significant turning points in my life when it comes to me wanting to express myself more was when I was in Nairobi. I went to this cafe called Pala Cafe in Nairobi, and it's a cafe where all the employees are deaf, you know. And when I sat down in that cafe and finding a way to express what you want to someone who doesn't have the same form of communication that you have, it really taught me a lot, you know, because I said to myself, you know, this person here doesn't have the words to say what they want to say. They have to use sign language, which I don't know sign language. So finding a way to communicate, whether it's writing it down, whether it's mouthing words, that taught me a lot. And also just sitting in that cafe and watching others interact with the staff, it taught me a lot as well. Like seeing someone who wasn't aware that everyone that works there was deaf, and you know when the waitress passed by and someone says excuse me, and they get upset because the person can't hear them and they don't realize that, you know, and seeing that frustration of not being heard, not being recognized, it taught me a lot just watching those interactions. So when I saw that, I said to myself, you know, I lived a life where I stay silent a lot. You know, a lot of times I said, I'm not gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna let people think whatever they feel is right. You know, and I learned a lot from just from those interactions. They taught me so much about how important it is to let people know how I feel, what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that, you know, because you can't when you hold that in too long, it really it causes stress upon yourself. It can cause depression. And you know, that's why a lot of people, some people, they stay in their heads too long. They talk to themselves far too long without actually expressing themselves to the people who need to hear what they need to say. So I am a big advocate now of expression because I don't want to be a person who's depressed. So I'm big on expression wherever form of expression that is, whether it's actual words that come out my mouth, whether that expression is body language, whatever that expression is, I feel that I need to get across. I now do the work to make sure that fear doesn't overcome anything that I feel that's meaningful to be expressed. So that's definitely how I feel about this proverb. This proverb is definitely the epitome of being a successful person, whether that's with your family or your friends, or whether that's in business. You have to find a way to let people know what you feel, but also you have to find a way to also express yourself. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were complaining. They were saying, well, they were saying, there's so many there's so many people who consider themselves content creators. I'm like, why are all these people want to be content creators? But I said to myself, I think it's a good thing, you know, because this being a content creator, you're finding a way to express yourself. If you're a podcast person, you're finding a way to express yourself, because you never know what you might say that may impact someone else. So I am very thankful and grateful for this podcast, and I'm thankful that you brought this beautiful proverb for us today. Sante.
Karibu sana, Brother Rushi. You know, whenever I hear you speak here on this platform, and also just the time, the support you show by being here so consistently, and knowing who you are really humbles me and makes me more committed to this work, because sometimes it's exhausting to do this. You have to think twice before you show up to express yourself. As you're saying, there are many content creators there are many podcasts, and I think the podcasting world is just about to explode. But what is it that you're doing with it, with that platform that you have, with the voice that you have, with the opportunity that you have to express yourself? What are you doing with it? So your contribution is really, really valued, and I love how you say, let people know how you feel. Because a lot of the time, as you were saying earlier too, when you don't express yourself, you are depressing yourself. And this reminds me so much about yesterday's proverb. I need to find it here and just share it with you all briefly. Yesterday's proverb said that he who sulks eats his own bellow. And this one was a really interesting one. It's similar to this. Don't you agree, Rushi?
Yes, they actually go together. To be honest with you, the last two proverbs, they kind of lead up to this one. But I think I was on a business call yesterday, so I wasn't able to join in the conversation, but I did watch it after I was done on YouTube. So yes, it definitely was a great proverb, and they do go together. I can't remember what the proverb was on Wednesday. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it kind of led up to this one. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yes, they both go together really well, really well.
Beautiful, fantastic. Anyhow, so I want to welcome you all to the Daily African Proverbs. Today's stage is really graced by incredible, ladies and leaders. And I can't wait to hear what Latanja and Makuba and Crystal have to say. And Rieta, feel free to join us on the stage. And also to each one of you, just take a moment and ping in 3 to 5 people, and also share the link to this conversation, across your other social media platforms. But if you're watching on YouTube, please remember to subscribe to the channel. That's one of the ways that you can support this movement. Now I want to hear from you, Latanja. How are you? Where are you joining us from? And when you hear this proverb from Seychelles, what is it that comes to your mind? It says, he who is scared of words has no heart for deeds.
Good day and grand rising, Simon. Thank you for always bringing me in a safe space to share my point of view. It's interesting that this is a proverb that speaks about the words and the deeds, because we know that fear is false evidence appearing real, that we know that it is not something that we are a part of. It's not a part of who we are. We weren't given the spirit of fear, but of sound mind. And one of the things that it brings up to me is that I thought about, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So, in other words, we are formed from our imagination and from the words that we speak. The fact that those particular words create or created the world in which, the universe in which we know of, talks about the power of our words and the power of the tongue as it is. And so, another thing that it brings up for me is when my mother spoke about don't run from it, face it. And that makes me understand that whatever the diversity and whatever the infraction is, I must face it. I must come to grips with it. I must come to terms with it. I must not necessarily just confront it, but I would need to be able to speak my mind about what it is that is troubling me or that needs clarification. And so our words have power, and the deeds are, as it has been said, that he who is scared of words has no heart for deeds. So we know that our heart is our mind's heart. It is a oneness of God in Christ as it is. So we know that our mind and our heart are in one beat. So we need to be able to have heart to be able to speak what the words are within us in order to clear up any infraction. And so our words are embedded within our faith, and we know that our faith is about action. So it just brings up a lot of things for me in terms of not being afraid to speak your mind about the things that will help you overcome anything that is attempting to get in your way, any obstacle, any challenge, any circumstance, any situation. You would need to be able to speak the words that have power within you, as we are formed from words, because words have power to create life. And that's what I would want to add, Simon.
Yeah, that's incredible. Words have power to create life, and it reminds me how sensitive sometimes parenting can be. As many of you might know, I'm a father of 3 girls, and a lot of the time, earlier on, I was, I was actually parenting in similar ways that I was raised, where I didn't care what came out of my mouth. I just wanted them to do what I want them to do. But I realized that after I said something, even the way they walked, they walk like you've actually punched them, they're deflated and they're not encouraged. And now, I'm learning that I want to walk with my shoulders high after I have a conversation with people. I want to feel good after I have a conversation with people. So I am learning to discipline how I actually talk to my daughters, no matter how irritating they could be. But also I'm learning to do that with everybody else, and it's true what you're saying, Sister Latanja, that words can give life, and words can also take life out of people, and I really appreciate that. Thank you all for joining us. I see Juma, Henrietta, MK, tuned in. Feel free to join us on the stage if you want to contribute your voice to today's conversation. We are actually taking a virtual journey to Seychelles, and we are discussing an amazing proverb that says, "He who is scared of words has no heart for deeds." We've had a bit of words of wisdom from Rushi and Latanja, and now we are at you, Makuba. How are you? Where are you joining us from? And also, what do you think when you hear this proverb that I just shared?
Thank you, Simon. It's been a while. Good morning, everyone. My name is Makuba, and I'm calling in from Georgia. Jordan B. Patterson said, "When you have something to say, silence is a lie, and tyranny feeds on lies." And one of the things that this Proverbs brought to me is thinking about our ancestors. remembering how they would tell us these stories from where these proverbs are coming from wisdom. They were spoken in words. And to what my other colleague said, Latoya, in terms of life, words have the power to kill and destroy, which means that we are also very powerful in the change we want to see in the world. It just depends on what we do with it. And so I think taking this proverb a bit deeper is to be careful with our words. Our words need to be impactful for change, for growth, and for nurture. Thank you.
I love that. Our words need to be impactful for change, for growth, and for nurturing. That's beautiful. Thank you again. I'm just always, nourished by the words that I hear from people that join me here, and also people that have contributed for now we can say years, because we are almost to the end of the second year of doing the daily African Proverbs. No, to the end of the second year, because we started in January 2021, and we are almost at the end of 2022. So Latanja, Makuba, Crystal, we are doing something great. Soon, people will actually be talking to us about things that they learned from the daily African Proverbs. There are other shows that have actually started as a result of this show that we are doing, so, while we might be saying things here that, we probably, just wanted to contribute to the conversation, as it is the tradition of the daily African Proverbs, we actually don't know who we are inspiring and what actions they're going to take with that inspiration. So I really, really appreciate you, Makuba, and I want to hear from you, Crystal, as well. Share with us where you're joining us from, and also what comes to your mind when you hear this great proverb from Seychelles.
Good morning. Can I be heard?
Oh, yes. So clear.
Okay. Okay, great. I'm sorry. I'm talking to you in my car. Can I hear the proverb again, please?
Of course. It says that he who is scared of words has no heart for deeds.
Thank you. Okay. I heard something Makuba just shared, and I'm actually listening from Atlanta, Georgia, but I really love what Makuba shared when she said that when you have something to say, that silence is a lie. That was powerful. I really resonated with me, so thank you for that. I think that being scared to speak, being scared to take up space in a world where a lot of us, I'm looking around the room, I'm seeing, a bunch of brown faces, and this world that makes it known, that we're not actually, our experiences aren't humanized, and it makes us small, and it's to our own detriment how we disconnect from ourselves sometimes. So I think that it is a reclamation of your own power to take up space and to express yourself. So this was just affirming in that, and as always, love the space. It's been great watching your platform grow, Simon. So thank you. That's all I have to share for now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love how you say that, it's a reclamation of your power when you take up space and express yourself, not many people are willing to do that. Not many people, actually, here in the US, especially in the corporate world. I worked in the corporate world for like the first 10 years of my life here in the US. And we were on a routine, you have to get in there by a certain time, and if you're a little late, you have to go to the supervisor and or your manager and say why you were late, and then you have to huddle, after huddling, you know, it's a colonial routine. You know, there's no way to express yourself. You have to work with what has been provided in order to make the most profits for the company that employs you. Even though some of the profits from that company might be funding things that you don't believe in, even though you might not be paid the wages that you deserve, you're in the system. If you're not working, you will be homeless. You know, you won't have money to feed your family, so you can't express yourself because you're in fear. You know, the way the system is set, you can't express yourself about the things you see even within the organization that you work in, even if they're terrible, you know. And you know, even if you go to school, the way schools were in Kenya is very not so different from the way schools are here, where what the teacher says is what is the truth, you know, and you can't negotiate with that. You have to, you know, as a student, you have to accept that that is the way it is. So I feel that there's so much that is lost. Most of us live, you know, our lives without expressing ourselves for most of our lives. And that's why I love creative outlets, you know, where after you go and grind in the corporate world for the whole day, maybe you can go and create a song. Maybe you can go and paint a picture. Maybe you can go and do something creative to just put all those expressions that you could not share in the course of the day into something productive, you know. So, you know, as we come towards the end of our conversation today, I know it's also Friday and we are all thinking about what we are going to do this weekend. One of my suggestions would be find an outlet where you can consistently express yourself in order for you to also heal yourself, you know, because yesterday's proverb was actually really strong in terms of warning us that according to research, pessimism can have a number of negative consequences for one's physical and mental health, you know. And if you're not expressing yourself, then you easily become someone who is always pessimistic. You're not hopeful, and you end up depressing yourself. So we don't want that. You know, I want to thank you all for taking the time to be here with me today. And I just want to invite maybe one or two closing comments from Latanja, Makuba, Crystal, or Rushi. If there's something that you'd like to share with us before we wrap up, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to do that.
I would just like to add that whatever you can conceive, you can achieve as long as you believe and be open to receive.
That's really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Whatever you can conceive, you can achieve as long as you're... Can you repeat that last part?
As long as you believe and be open to receive, you have to see it. And that is a part of your imagination.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you, Latanja. And to all our viewers on YouTube, thank you so much. You know, if you're watching this after the live recording, please leave a comment and let me know what this proverb that we were discussing today means to you. It says that he who is scared of words has no heart for deeds. This is a Seychelles proverb. And to everyone who is listening live right now, have a nice weekend. Take care of yourself, express yourself, and see you on Monday. We will be here again Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also, for those who don't know, there are two things that I just want you to be aware of. Number one, we have started pushing the Daily African Proverbs on TikTok as well. So if you are not following me on TikTok, my handle there is at Okelo Javan, exactly the way my handle on Instagram is. And also, a couple of hours earlier, I saw Rushi had liked the latest Instagram post that I shared of this proverb. And I'm sure he reviewed the proverb before this conversation started. And I would encourage you to also do the same. Check out my Instagram, take a look at these Proverbs a couple of hours before this conversation begins, so that by the time you show up for this, community gathering, you are able to engage in a more deeper way. So thank you all so much, and take great care of yourselves. Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.